In this video, I'm going to show you how to fill areas with content-aware material. So I have separated out these layers. I've cut them apart from each other, but I want to extend this area. I wanted to remove the front area and add on a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I'm selected on the layer I want to add more to. I'm going to use the lasso tool to select the area that I want to fill. So I'm going to select this large open area, and then I'm going to select just a little bit of the original background. And I'm making sure that I'm being close to, but not exactly on the edge, because I'm trying to fill in that gap. So it's kind of good to have just a little bit of overlap so I make sure that I don't have any gap whatsoever. Once I have the selection made, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click in the selection, and I'm going to come down to fill. That will give me some options on what I want to fill this with. In general, it's usually black, white, the foreground color, background color, so the colors that we have loaded in our little color palette. But there's other options that we can do. We can choose specific colors, but we can also choose content aware. What content aware is, it is aware of the content in the scene. So it's going to look at the selection area, it's going to look at the content outside, and it's going to use that as a basis for what we're going to fill in. So I'm going to select content aware, and I'm going to press OK. And it's going to take some time to think, but it will fill in this area as best as it can. And then once I deselect, you can see that it did a pretty good job. Note that since I went over into the sky, and the sky is its own layer and not a part of that, that didn't turn out looking so good. So I can always, erase that, and maybe I need to extend the sky. But there's a lot of different ways. There we go. That looks a lot better. So there's a lot of different ways that we can alter and change this. So again, a quick way, if I come over to the sky, this time I think I'm going to use the marquee tool to get most of this. Then I'm going to switch over to the lasso tool and add on to the selection, just so I can get that little base of sky that I missed. Again, right click, fill, and then content aware. And that will fill in this area, judging off of what we see in the top. It does a pretty good job for areas that are not very specific, meaning things like random color patterns or things that have a lot of repeating elements. We can see that if I zoom in real close, and particularly down here in the bottom, we can see there's a lot of repetition of kind of just areas that it was copying, that it can look a little bit too awkward at times, but you can always use different tools or reselect those areas and tell it to fill content aware again and have it to rethink what that selection area is. And so that is filling areas using selection and fill content aware.